First alert, a new bill inspired in part by a Green Bay robbery is now signed into law. It comes after robbery charges were initially dropped when a suspect gave a bank teller a handwritten note demanding money last year, but didn't threaten any violence. The new bill says robbery also includes, quote, circumstances in which a reasonable person would believe the use of force was imminent, end quote. Lawmakers say the new law allows employees to take threats seriously while ensuring that potential criminals are held responsible.
But I think at least one of these examples where someone found a loophole, and I don't think he was even looking for the loophole, it just happened to be one, that this one is at least closed.
State Senator Eric Wimberger, who you just heard from there, says the new law works better with bank employees training since they're not supposed to resist and they're trained to hand over money if they are threatened.